Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Weekly Games Chat. I'm your host, Chris, as always, joined by my co-host, Sean.
How's everybody doing this glorious day?
And John.
I don't know why we didn't, Sean just didn't go ahead and say penis after we started recording.
You can say that. I prefer Richard.
Exactly.
What just happened? You're not supposed to disclose the pre-start conversation, Mr. John, sir.
Adam is now.
Honey, are you tired? You pre-started tonight.
Well,
Old pre-start Baron.
yeah, there is that.
Just learned today that a coworker of mine
Yeah?
said that she listened to the podcast.
Oh.
And I was like,
Oh,
Sorry.
I said,
Do I know her?
We'll
I
wait till
don't
the
think
break.
so.
But anyway,
I said, sorry, we're a little bit childish in PG-13.
What'd you say?
She goes, no, you're more PG than PG-13.
see, we are.
I'm
We
like, okay.
I think you have to.
But she did not correct me on the childish
Right?
part.
She's, no,
we're very
you're
childish.
but you're more PG.
You can't be talking about video games and not be at least somewhat childish, right?
You have to. I mean, that's
Yeah.
still the fun of the whole video game thing. Is
Purity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a coworker
it's
reach out to
purity.
me today asking what console to get because his son is all addicted to Fortnite now, so he wants to get him a console.
Like, just get them an
To
iPhone.
which my first question to him, I was
Just
like,
plays it
well,
on phone.
right now, I was like, well, my first question to him was, well, did he buy things on Fortnite? And he goes, yes. I was like, do you care about re-spending money to buy things on Fortnite that you've already purchased?
Yeah.
Uh,
but
It wouldn't matter on place regardless of what you bought.
Yeah. No, no matter what if you buy on any of the consoles besides PlayStation, everything cross plays.
It crosses when it's from mobile.
Yeah. And same with the Xbox and Switch.
Yeah.
Like all of that is shared. It's just because, was it like your Epic account doesn't tie to anything except PlayStation whenever you make it on that.
If you made it there
Sucks.
first.
But you can go back and forth between
Yeah.
mobile and
Yeah.
Well, I was trying to get to the
PlayStation 4.
point. That's why I was trying to say, I'm like, look, if you don't want to rebuy those things, I was like, you need to buy an Xbox or a Switch. I was like, that's basically what your choice is. Otherwise,
He won't have to rebuy it if he goes to PlayStation 4. He would just have to rebuy it if he leaves PlayStation 4. If you're playing it on mobile, you can switch to PlayStation 4 and keep your stuff.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Oh, I'd have to look that up.
Yeah.
I didn't think that was the case at all.
Mobile devices are not a barrier for PlayStation 4. It's,
Oh my God.
It's
That's just your phone.
competitive. It's competitive
It's just your phone.
consoles.
I've started a new mobile game, like literally today. It's called Evil Apples. And if you've ever heard of Apples to Apples or maybe Cards Against Humanity, it's basically Cards Against Humanity on a mobile, like iOS
And they
platform.
Is this a poop game?
It can be a poop game. It can be anything. But you literally, if you know the concept of like apples to apples, there's one card that's thrown out by the person, and then the players respond by the cards they have in their hands to match the statement. It could be something as bland as all people are, and then in your hand you could have funny, stupid, dumb, and then depending on how you think the person who laid that card down will react, you throw a card out into the hat, and then eventually they pick it. And when they pick it,
I see what they did.
You get like a point. Boom. So to up that ante, that's like a basic apples to apples. Cards Against Humanity does the same thing, except for it goes from PG to X.
No, not just like XXXXX.
Yeah, it's like the worst.
They're
the
like,
vilest
here's politically
possible.
correct. Throw that out the window and
you,
go from there.
If you, there's zero of that.
I wonder how well that works online though, because just like, unless you're playing with your friends.
Yeah.
Because if you're playing like with a random group of strangers, like that game is designed.
So I'm showing John, this is obviously, Chris, keep talking.
That game is kind of designed first and foremost to see how well do you know your friends? Like, because the idea is every round there's usually a judge and then you're submitting all your answers to them to decide, right? So it's like, how well do you know the person who's going to judge this and what he'll find funny is usually what the goal is.
So this is what it looks like. So it's very similar to if it was on
Oh
the
man,
table.
how are they not getting sued?
Well, I don't know, but these are amazing. And then these are my cards, John. So I got a bunch of options depending on what's thrown.
It's the same way Scrabble doesn't sue.
Yeah, true.
Words with friends.
That's true.
Oh, good point, John.
Chris, I would say, while I say the same reason why, I still don't know that reason. But
It's crazy.
Chris, I just got done checking your internet speed.
Yeah.
It's not very good.
Mine's fine.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you remember,
I pay $5 less and I'm fine.
If you remember, sweet baby John, he has had the internet problems of a lifetime.
What is my max speed per?
Well, it used to be like what? You would get up to, what were you paying for before? You would get I'd
have to ask my wife.
Your wife.
But it's between 49 and 69. I don't remember
before.
That was what was so painful for what
because
you were
and when you would actually run it,
you
would run it, you'd run your speed test. You would get usually
like 2 MIPS,
1.2 to 2 MIPS. It was a max of 6, but we never saw 6. Yeah. Never saw 3.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so now some things have changed in your life. The sun is shining. The birds are chirping.
Did you look at your score earlier?
And at lunch today, John says, Sean, I'm getting new internet today. I made a joke about buffering, which was pretty funny to John. And then I said, I don't want to know anything else, John. Let's see what happens.
All right. So
as of right now, I think I'm about to see something.
Here's my speed right now.
Okay.
Whoa. Dang. What's your upload?
It's like 50 or 60.
So he went from 4 that he was supposed to get to a 1 point.
Huh?
What app is that?
He's at 410 down, and you just heard him say 50 to 60 up.
It's just a speed tester app. I don't really.
Why don't you have like speed test?
Yeah, like the best, most dependable. But no, I'm sure
this
it's right.
This is upstairs, right above me.
Is that through Wi-Fi?
That's amazing, like how much it dropped.
Well, it's still 290.
I mean, yeah, not that you will do.
What router are you using now? Is it one they gave you? Or are you using
one they gave me?
Is it a combo router? What that means is
combo.
That means there's one thing, and it's basically a modem and a router together.
I hate those.
Those are the worst. If you have that, I highly recommend you get your own modem. Just buy it, and then I'll help you with that process if you need it, and then you get your own router, and it'll help tremendously. I honestly believe that.
Help tremendously with what?
Speed, connectivity, reliability, all of those things.
I will be interested to see, like, towards the end of the month, right, what your speeds are. Because, like, usually
here's our anniversary, here's our honeymoon.
Exactly.
Look how amazing this is.
You're new.
Hey, 2 weeks later, let's dip it down.
Or you've used this much data now, so they're like.
Keep in mind,
obviously.
this was right next to the router. When he was doing a wired connection, it was going up to 600.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. I know someone that you also know that shares the same provider as you now, and he states no concerns.
Okay, well that's good.
No caps,
I don't know about that company.
no anything.
Like, I just remember Nology. And Nology was freaking notorious for where, like, back in the day, they were like, yeah, you're going to get 20 MIPS. And you would, like, get that 20 MIPS until about halfway through the month. We were like, well, you've been gaming a lot and watching a lot of Netflix, so we
that's
turned
the
you down.
point.
That's
why I have internet.
But if you pay an extra $10 a month, man, then you get 30 MIPS and you'll get that speed all the time until you use it a lot again. Then we'll ask you to go to another tier.
But tonight I'm gonna delete Master Chief Collection and then re-download it to see how long it takes.
Just to see?
Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
That's a self-test.
Do you remember how long that took?
Yes,
It took
I
like
do.
a week and a half.
It shouldn't take long with that because I don't believe the Xbox has. I don't think they cap as far as your day. See, the big thing and why Sean was talking about like why people don't like the modem router combos is that a lot of times the routers in there they have very limited. What they can actually, they kind of, they're kind of like funneling how much cap you can actually get for your downloads. Like when you're doing a test, you'll get that high speed, right? But when you actually try to download it, you'll see it like kind of, it funnels, right? So eventually you get to a limit that you can actually do at one point or a console will let you versus if like you go out there and you actually spend the money and you get the gaming router, like those things are designed to handle really high speeds.
I always picture like, say there's a wall of doors. There's a lot of people that got to get through those doors. There's 5 doors. Some routers basically have one door open that everybody's trying to get through.
Yeah.
Most routers are going to get open all 5 of those doors so as many people can get out as possible. And you don't want that. You want to have constant, your highest speed, your highest connectivity all the time.
Correct.
So kudos to you for finally working that out, because the last we heard, I think it was 2019 or 2020.
Uh-oh.
So kudos. Let's
the best part about this is
what?
John's about to step away for a second.
And we own this?
And I get to now talk about the thing he wants to talk about, or hear my impression, or probably say something about. Was I saw Fallout, or Mission Impossible Fallout this weekend.
Yeah, that's what you were saying.
And did you see what I posted?
I saw your post and I was like, oh okay.
Look, full transparency,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
I've gone on record and saying, like, I enjoyed the very first Mission Impossible.
Last we talked to you, said that.
I said 2 is garbage.
Yeah.
Like, I cannot watch. I tried to rewatch 2, and it's just like, I hate John Woo. John Woo makes terrible films.
And I said I like the one that had the Limp Bizkits.
That is 2.
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing I like from that movie is literally the opening scene where he is like...
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, when he does that jump.
Yeah.
But besides that, like, the finale where they were like racing the motorcycles at each other, or there was that in that movie, or every 5 minutes someone, because they were like, everyone liked that mask thing in the first movie, let's do that 500 times. And you're like, Jesus, I don't need this. Or his brother who was in it too was also on Lost, or he's like his brother-in-law or something.
We got to go back.
Yeah, he played Ethan.
Yeah.
Remember from the other?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was in it too. But then I really enjoyed 3. Like, 3's not a perfect movie, but 3 did a great rebooting. Like, it saved that franchise. Like, put Simon Pegg in there.
Yeah, Simon Pegg he's good.
Yeah, kind of like changed.
I like that guy.
Kind of changed the way they were doing. Like, it's like no more of this John Woo stuff. Let's go more for like it being what it is, like a really tight action movie. 4 was amazing. I rewatched 5 in anticipation of this, because this is actually the first time they're bringing someone back. They bring back the villain Solomon Lane from 5,
and he was
and I'll say it's like 5 I wasn't crazy about. Like,
it was okay.
Like with 3, 4, and 5, I think the thing I would say is they're all good. They're
just
not
good.
Like, if you needed an afternoon to go to the movies and watch
an action flick,
exactly, you're not going to do bad here. Like, everyone's doing their things, and there are memorable moments in all of them.
You about to sneeze?
Burp.
Let me clear my throat.
But this movie, this is like the swan song for all swan songs. Like, they can't. I don't think they'll ever top this.
Well, I joked with you when you first started talking about it, where I was like, I saw Jimmy Fallon too, and Tom Cruise actually had a great appearance on Jimmy Fallon, where they were showing, the movie. I've seen a bunch of stuff on, the trailers look great. You started seeing hype build up, and it was different for me because it wasn't like the normal kind of build up for a movie. The content and the quality of what you were seeing was kind of like, okay, did they step their game up? Like,
when I first started seeing trailers for this, I was like, okay, this still just looks like Mission Impossible. But once the movie actually like starts and gets going, you kind of realize real quick that even though it is, I mean, it's still that typical thing of like, look, there's a shadow organization. And I don't know, are we gonna
shadow organizations?
And either something's wrong with Ian, or maybe he's a rogue and everyone thinks he's a rogue, or like IMF needs to be disbanded. Like, this has literally been the case of just about every freaking it's like either some freaking evil villain who used to work for an organization has come back and is now going to kill them all or whatever.
Well, I mean, to be honest, for me, I've also thought like the Jason Bournes were kind of along that same vein, where like Bourne was this bad guy. But they still for me, like, even the last Bourne got better. So yeah, I can see how these. I know you got your differences on that.
I like 2.
Yeah, two's the best.
Yeah, 2 is the best.
But not to get too far into that. But yeah, you see this and you're kind of thinking, well, okay. But it seems cool, and your feedback. Like you said, your post, I was like, okay, well, this is kind of.
It's like
confirming some things.
This guy who directed it, Christopher McQuarrie. Which, first off, fun fact, he has an Oscar. Didn't know that till now.
On what?
He wrote The Usual Suspects.
Oh.
Yeah, like when he was 20-something. I didn't even know that.
That's a good Oscar.
But apparently, he first came into the series on 4. Because remember, like, they were trying to make Jeremy Renner the next, like, kind of handed off to him thing. And then I guess at some point someone said, this is a bad freaking idea. We shouldn't do this. Jeremy Renner's freaking Hawkeye. Who likes him? Yeah. So instead, and I mean, the point was proven pretty much with Bourne, right? Remember they tried to hand it off to him on that, and that lasted one film. But
Jeremy, if you're listening, we love you, buddy.
He came in and he did uncredited rewrites of that movie. Mainly the back half. They said.
How did you figure that out?
Like I looked it up, and that was what it's saying. Like he kind of just came in. And he's like, I was told they'd already shot these things, or these plot devices had already been built, or whatever. And he said, I just worked with that, and I rewrote it. The next one he directed, the last film he directed, right? But he originally didn't do the story. Some guy, what was his name? Drew Pearson, who I can't remember what he's done, but he's done things. And then like, they didn't like it, so he wrote the actual screenplay for it. So I could see that. Yeah. This is the first one where he came in, he did it all. He wrote the movie, he wrote the story for the movie, he wrote the screenplay, and he directed the dang thing. And it shows because like everything that was done here to me was done with like kind of like in a Nolan way where he was like, I have a vision. And this is, and like there are shots in this movie, like just,
ladies and gentlemen, if
just like from a sim acting, as someone who's like myself, I'm like, that's beautiful.
If you knew Chris,
Mission Impossible does not deserve to look this freaking good.
And he drops somebody a hint of what you need to know about Chris. If he gives kudos to somebody and mentions the name Nolan, you know what's going to come out good.
It's like, it doesn't have the same thinking man's depth. Right, of a Nolan film, you know,
but it's shot.
You know, it's not like Tom Cruise is sitting there going like, "You live long enough, you become the villain," you know, or something like that, or you know, like he kicks off freaking Henry Cavill or something and goes like, "I'm Rogue Nation" or something. That doesn't happen.
You're like, wait, movie. What?
Huh? This doesn't make sense.
No.
I'm CAA because I could take it, But he does have like some parallels to it. He is like, I kind of get like he kind of tries to show him a little bit like a Batman in this movie because it's that idea of like, no matter what, if there's a problem, Ethan Hunt always feels like he's the one who has to solve it, and he'll never not answer the call, right? Kind of like Batman. But there are just like things like between these beautiful shots and then like also these action sequences that like,
and they
just
showed
really smart, like they are intense. Like when you see,
that's a good word.
You see like first this one car turn and then this motorcycle turn right before it, and it's racing down this tight corridor, gunning it as fast as possible.
Well, in
and
the trailer,
they stops at the last second to make the turn. You're like, oh my God, what the hell?
In the trailer, they briefly show Ethan on his motorcycle, and he basically hits a car. I don't know if it's the same scene. And he flies over it, and the intensity, even in that preview, you're like, whoa.
Yeah. I mean, like, you're fine that there's all this crazy, like, BS. Like, he comes off that motorcycle, he's like limping, and then he just
that's
on to the next one.
I mean,
but I mean, like, there's that, and more importantly, I think this is the one, if anyone ever watched a show, felt the most like the show to me, because it's like, it's about the team, and it's about them saying, okay, here's this obstacle, and let's overcome it. And then, like, once you start doing it, you're like, well, this ain't working.
Yeah.
All right, how do we adjust? Keep adjusting. Just keep trying to do where the hell you can to overcome the obstacle. So I liked it. I liked the finale because
you liked it so much you want to see it again.
Yeah, I'm going back to see this thing in IMAX because I didn't see it the first time, but after watching, as we talked about before, like there's a Halo jump in this film, and all of that was filmed in IMAX. They filmed a lot of things in IMAX in this movie, and that is just like, even in regular theater, I was like, that is a breathtaking shot. And I'm like, I can see why he's been pushing for this for so long.
I like it.
But highly recommend it.
I may take you up on that offer. I do want to see that movie. So we shall.
Just don't use Movie Pass.
Yeah, not going to do that.
Rest in peace, I think, is what's coming.
I do too. You can see the writing on the wall with that Movie Pass thing. But, you know, I don't know. I didn't do much this weekend, dude. Y'all had it going on, and I was just kind of at the house.
I did that, and I went to LaGrange.
I know. I was kind of.
I was his twin.
I was resting. Mm-hmm. We play this game, and I'm sure you listeners may do it as well. It's you see somebody, and they remind you of somebody else, right? The way we do it is like, say if I saw a guy that looked like Chris, and I was sitting with friends, maybe John and somebody else, and a guy walks in, and I go, "Hey, what's Chris doing?" But it's not Chris, but there's something that reminds you of it. Chris says he saw a John this weekend. And do you have photographic evidence?
It's pretty spot on.
Yeah,
You
did you not see it?
No.
I posted it in the kick. You're like, that's a 10. Tell me that's not a 10.
You're blown away, aren't you?
Like, literally, Jeff just said, like, literally, what's John Barron doing here?
His head is slightly more square than John's, but other than that,
Let me see it again.
oh my goodness. John was in LaGrange.
That's crazy.
That's you.
I was so drunk when I took that picture, too.
I would never
wasted.
wear those sandals.
Dudes, last time I talked about my career, my new job, I was in bed last night at 10 p.m. like an old man.
Oh, you actually got work now.
Well, and some of you may go, what do you mean? We're in bed by... Look, for me, a normal night would be up till 12:30, 1 o'clock, playing video games, hanging out, doing whatever.
Yeah.
Your boy, 10 o'clock last night, curled up in bed.
Well, you're not used to getting up that early. Yeah.
But it was just, I thought about it, it's just like an hour difference. But that hour...
Hey.
I went crawling in bed. And my wife was like,
Your wife.
Honey, can you rub
"What are
my
you?"
It's cool.
bunions?
It's cool.
Yeah, she
we
was
say
like-
whenever.
So
Your
yeah,
wife.
my wife was.
Your wife,
It's never been my thing. It's hard to do.
you know.
It's cool, man.
What
Still
happens
love
when
you.
it's my wife?
Ha!
Hey, we got the cricket. We got the crickets.
Let me dream.
Yeah, she was like, "What are you doing? Why are you in bed with me?" Because she goes to bed at like 8.
I'm amazed at how many things Penny finds during this podcast. Like, I
What
don't
is
know
that?
where she
Is
got.
that a
She got a
Twizzler?
straw. I don't know where she got it from.
I go, "Is that a Twizzler?"
Is that a Twizzler?
Jiminy Christmas.
No, it'd be a red vine. No, it wouldn't be a Twizzler. I don't
I was
like
like,
red
I've never
vines.
had a red vine. Fun fact.
Okay.
Have you ever had a red vine, John?
What's that?
It's a version of like Twizzlers, but it says red vines instead.
Yeah.
I've never been.
I think it's in
Twizzlers.
a blue bag, and it says red vine in red.
I want to say they were the OG, if I recall. And then
Oh, we got an OG war.
Yeah.
Twizzlers versus red vine.
I think that's right. I want to say it's a British
I will
candy.
say this,
I might
though.
be wrong.
I only eat like the strawberry Twizzler. I don't eat any other flavor. I do not like licorice, like the black licoricey licorice.
Yeah, I've never understood the appeal of that candy.
And
It's
it was like
terrible.
It was only grandparents who would buy it.
You got some.
You want her?
Do the whole,
Yeah.
You got some licorice.
You want I got two things. I got saltwater taffy and licorice.
Saltwater taffy.
And licorice Twizzlers. God.
That's good stuff.
You guys ready to do this?
Well, I reckon if you are,
I reckon.
I reckon.
Are you going to go see that god awful Mission Impossible movie?
You missed that. Yeah,
No.
sorry.
That was a bit of a
I made sure
on
to time
purpose.
it. I made sure it's like, oh, he's walking back in. So let's wrap this part
wrap
up.
this thing up, and
Hey,
John,
you can listen to it though tomorrow, John.
John, you don't like, just real quick, you don't like the Mission Impossible movies as a whole?
Oh, I love
Oh,
it.
he loves them.
You just think this?
It's just that a couple nights ago when Chris saw the movie, he posted.
Yes, he did.
He said,
Yeah.
this was the blah, blah, blah.
Oh, blah,
surprise
blah,
hit of the
blah. Yeah,
summer. And I
that's-
responded, I don't know why you're so surprised, hence the word surprised. The other two previous movies got like 93% and above on Rotten Tomatoes. And he said something to the effect of,
Being a
a
well-received film.
well-received movie is not necessarily the same as being a great film.
Correct.
And so he opened the door wide open, and I posted some GIF of The Last Jedi. And I was
my
looking
God.
at it. I was looking at it, and I saw him typing,
Yeah.
and he just gives up.
No, I didn't say it.
Well, because it was there, and it was why it would have
It's like one of those things, like the best way I could describe what I meant was like Ant-Man, right? Ant-Man
I
is
wouldn't bless me either, guys. Don't worry about it.
Yes, you're going to hell.
Ant-Man is a well-received movie, but like it's nothing like groundbreaking.
Ant-Man
whatever,
1 or
right?
2? What are you talking about?
Either film. They're both
Dude,
well-received.
Ant-Man 2 was awesome.
Yeah.
Show your face.
But it's not like same with like Deadpool. Deadpool is a solid movie. I enjoy it. It's fun. But like when you talk about a great film, like that doesn't happen every day. And I'm like, to me, Mission Impossible went from here where it was always a good film to I'm like, oh wow, that's like maybe one of the best action films I've watched in maybe 10 years now.
Right, so you have to pick.
Yeah.
Mission Impossible.
Oh, Mission Impossible Fallout's number 1 by a mile.
Black
now.
Panther.
Those would be the two from this year I would put towards each other.
He's afraid to say it. He's got to put them both up.
No, I mean those are the two biggest, like, of the big action movies. Those are on their own plateau this year.
What about Civil War?
Hell no. I'm not.
But you love Thanos. You ordered your
First
power
off, that's
glove.
Infinity War.
Oh yeah, that one. Yeah, you love Thanos.
I would put that, like, again, I would take that as a well-received movie.
Technically,
That's
he
not a great film.
he was in that movie. I think technically, if you add the credits, wasn't he?
Like, I'm talking about things like this.
Yes.
Like, yes, I would put, like, to me, Black Panther's up there.
Action movies.
Fallout
Rampage
now is out there. Of course, the greatest to me is still probably Dark Knight, and I don't know if that'll ever be beat in my mind.
I cannot wait for the articles about Dark Knight to go away on all the geek.
It made me feel
won't.
old. I will say this: it made me feel old, and I was like, "Oh my god, John was still on night shift." I think when this movie came out,
on the night shift.
Right?
Hey, so was it like old now or something?
What?
It's 10 years old.
You know, somebody said something about, was it Harry Potter that's celebrating 20 years?
Wow.
And I was
Yes,
like,
it
oh
is.
my
It
goodness.
was either 97 or 98.
I think the movie-
the book came out.
No,
books.
the book was, or the movie was 2001, because I remember I came home from college to watch it.
God.
It's ridiculous.
Well, good for you and that timestamp in your brain, dude.
Only reason I went to watch it too, it had the first major trailer for Attack of the Clones attached to it. That was the only reason I went to go watch that. Remember,
You went to-
What Attack of the Clones?
People
Star
used
Wars?
to go to see movies to see
Yeah.
a trailer.
I don't remember that.
yeah, it was that trailer where it was like showing them, and in the background it had the Vader breathing, and like showing these like
But he
pulsing
never.
moments.
But he wasn't into.
No, but
It's
it was kind of
foreshadowing.
alluding.
He wasn't into, guys. You know
Foreshadowing.
what? I had this very cool. Speaking of that, real quick, the original teaser poster for the Star Wars Episode 1 had the young Anakin, and he was standing in front of like an igloo on
shadow.
tattoo of Vader going up.
You say igloo.
I still have that poster. It's
Do you?
it's pretty.
Lord.
Yeah.
You got to hand it to Lucas on the trailers. He did good trailers.
Probably because he
He
wasn't
did
looking
good
at 'em.
movies. I'm handing it all to Lucas.
I'm trying not to
Stir the
stir
pot.
it up.
Hey, well, speaking of stir
he
the
did-
pot,
I think he made 3 great films.
let's do this.
I think he made one.
Let's
great
do this,
film.
guys.
I think he made one great film, one alright film, and 2 I could care less about. Anyway, let's pivot to this topic finally after 27. Oh no, I'm sorry, we're right at 28 minutes. Yeah, we'll do it. Right there.
Topic time.
The topic is No Man's Sky.
What?
Huh?
Is this 2017?
16?
No, did it really?
Shut
Yeah,
up.
it's 2 years old.
At the end of
Not
2016,
two.
it had to be.
It was in August of 2016.
So almost 2 years to the day.
Pretty much,
even.
I believe.
Dad.
From my understanding, that was what the idea of No Man's Sky next update was. That it was for the 2-year anniversary of the game. It's a fun fact. So we have actually. Why is Waiter messaging me? They're like, "Look, you want tacos?" Literally, that's what Celebrate Taco Tuesday.
Is that delivery or something? What is waiter?
You know what Waiter is? Yeah, Waiter's the thing like where you can order. You can order people to go pick up food for you, or you can order it.
You can
at
order
places.
people?
Well, they
Yeah,
bring you
order
food.
people.
They
They
bring
go
you
on-
food, John, like a waiter.
Yes.
Get it?
So, like, say I want some
But isn't it-
takeout Indian, where like obviously they don't employ people to drive and deliver Indian food. Like
is that
they will
obvious,
go. You place your order online, and they go and pick it up for you, and then
Yeah.
they take it to you. Or you can do it where you just place it online and you go pick it up if you
Well,
you
that's
know.
dumb.
So
Well,
why
it
don't
kinda
we?
works as
So why
both.
don't we, from going forward? Why don't we just decide what we want
And have them bring it to us.
during the show?
we could
Let
do
our
that.
audience enjoy that fiasco,
They would love it.
and then the food
This
gets here,
podcast would go to
Dude.
like 3 hours.
Dude,
by the time.
and we'll change the podcast name to Dinner and Games.
Dude,
Dinner and Game.
Dude,
dinner and game.
dude, the
Dinner
intro
and
could be
games.
what we're getting to eat, And that whole, the word you use, fiasco.
What we're getting to eat.
It's time for food. Let's get some food together.
I'll tell you this. If we're going to dinner and games, we're going back and I'm getting Tony to redo the original games and games.
I don't want you to do that.
Why? Because that thing was great.
Because I want to, what was it called? DDT, Tony? Because he deserves it.
Okay.
And the slogan for
I'll let him know that next week.
He's gonna hear it. That's why I said it. Are you telling me he doesn't listen to this fine radio podcast?
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, you know what? War.
I mean, seriously.
Huh?
Do you listen?
Casey listens.
Do you listen to Geek Versus?
I do.
Sometimes, yeah. I do. Sometimes for real.
Yeah.
If the topic seems like it's legit, of course I do. They're friends. They were friends of the show.
Such a liar. Such a liar.
2 of them are.
All 3 of them are.
Are they?
Don't talk about Casey.
Speaking of sidetrack,
Casey's the closest friend we have.
why did you decide to play No Man's Sky again,
Because
Chris?
they released the next update, and
They
we
did.
were like, we really need a topic.
Go.
Yeah, so this
this
has
update
really
free?
been build up for a while. So one, No Man's Sky finally came to Xbox, and this update corresponded with it. And 2, it was meant to kind of deliver on a lot of the promises that were put out there from the original. And No Man's Sky is like a really curious thing because I don't think there's ever been a game that went from this point of obscurity to just way overhyped that I can think of. Like, I know some people might
Overwatch.
say no, because that's a great game. But things like for instance, some might say like
Fortnite.
Lair. Some people would say maybe things like Lair.
Centipede.
No.
Oh.
Or like Lair, right? And I go like, no, that kind of just had this little niche that got pissed off at people for saying it was a bad game. That wasn't anywhere near as hyped.
Hey, dude, I played No Man's Sky. I was probably one of the hypest people in the world on the concept of No Man's Sky.
Or even like something like the Order 1886. Like, I think there was a group of people
Greatest
anticipating
game ever.
that. But I don't think it was anywhere near the hype where it was like, hey, this thing that probably was originally scheduled to be like a $20 game went from that to getting full Sony marketing backing. And like when this crashed, ooh, did it crash hard.
Lord.
I remember the first time I played this game actually for the show was I went down to visit Mikey. And like literally I got there, the game came out on a Wednesday or something like that. I got down there, installed it to his PS4, right? Downloaded the update, and he had to work, on Thursday and Friday. So while he was doing that, I pretty much just sat there and consistently played this thing for hours on end, trying to figure out if I liked it or not.
You got to the center.
Yeah,
I didn't because I hit the eject button on that garbage game.
I don't know how I got to the center. I think I went and found out the Atlas stuff, and that's how I got there.
That game was terrible.
Yeah, the game was, it was like really weird. Like I really wanted to love that game.
Yeah.
But man, like that core loop, like people complain a little bit on Sea of Thieves, of course, earlier this year. And I'm like, nah, Sea of Thieves where they are right now compared to where No Man's Sky was a couple months after its release. It's like night and freaking day. Those are two different things as far as I'm concerned.
With my internet speed, I might want to give that another go.
Maybe you could actually not fall off the boat this time.
Yeah.
But here, like I said, I think originally I gave it a 6.5 Richards. We weren't calling it Richards back then, but that's what I'll go with. So the question is now with this update, is it something really different? Is it worth maybe now that anticipation that Sean felt and I felt? Is it finally time to say this is something worth checking out?
Is it living up to the promise?
I will
Not
say
that it promised it, but Sony is it living up to the promises that Sony made?
I think
Not
this
the developer.
is. I'll say this for all the credit in the world to Hello Games who makes this. Because a lot of people would have just said, okay, we're moving on. They might have done like patchwork for a year and they would have just moved on and that would have been it. But they've been working hard. This is like their third update and this is definitely the most substantial update they've done. And I'll say this, I think it at least as Penny squeaks her toy, Sean, if you wanted to take care of that, I'd be appreciative.
I'm just gonna let it ride out, dude. Let's see what happens.
Okay. Well,
I'm kidding. I'm
Ain't
gonna go
nothing
get
wrong
it.
with a little squeak.
yeah.
Penny! Give me the stuff!
But anyways, while he does it, I'll say this. I think they've definitely, outside of a few little things, I think they've probably, for what their core game was originally, done as much as they probably could at this point to make it something that if it's going to grab you, this is probably the version of the game that's there. Because now there is, before it felt like you were just going and collecting things and that was about it. And hey, technical difficulties. Not sure what just happened there.
You're going to try to blend it?
No,
just going to just let it be there?
Yeah. When we record on Tuesdays, this is what happens.
Whoa. You can't say that.
I know I can't, but that's what I'm going to say.
Look at John's face.
No.
You take it back. I'm kidding.
They don't know how long we were down. It was like literally
it was
20 seconds.
But
anyways, the original grind was just like consistently moving forward to the center. And like at most what would happen is you'd break off and like there were these Atlas things, shrines that you could go and discover and they would like really advance you to the center. And it kind of proposed a couple of hypothetical ideas, but that was about it. Like besides that, it was just like these big empty worlds and outside of like mining things and grinding consistently. After about 4 hours, you're just like, this is it. This is this game. And for better or worse, that's what it is. Okay, fine. And you either bolted like Sean did or you just like, well, maybe it gets better. Nope, it doesn't. I have not made it near as far this time because Autonoma, wherever you are.
Sing it, John.
No.
You sure you want this?
No, I don't.
Show your face.
Start pumping my chest like she does.
What?
Celine Dion.
Let's go for it.
She pumps her chest.
How about
the greatest singer in the world.
Yes. She's up there.
You think so?
She's got beautiful pipes. I'll give her credit. Anyways. Going back to it. So the question now is even though I haven't taken nearly the journey I did the first time, I was not going to kill myself for this game again. Is it worth it when they've added things like limited multiplayer, base building, side missions, things like that? There are missions now. And just kind of more world building things. And I'd say it is if you are fine with still the fact that no matter how much they may have added to the game, this is still first and foremost going to be a game about grinding to do things. And that's, either you're fine with that or not. I'll say this, back in the day, it was really hard to find a motivation to grind because it was okay, you're grinding to get resources so you can eventually sell, either trade them off or use them just to, upgrade your ship or keep it going. Right. And then the only result was that you would get a new ship, that maybe could go a little bit faster or have more cargo, things like that. Right. And eventually you got to a point after the third or fourth time where you're there really isn't that much of a difference outside of just what I can haul. So what's the point of continuously upgrading the ship and doing these things? Combat really wasn't that major of a thing. And it wasn't whenever you died, there was some really devastating penalty or anything like that. Right. So you didn't feel I need to go and do this consistently.
I felt completely the opposite, even though I didn't know better.
Remember, you did it. Like I said, you did this for a couple of hours. I'm talking about when you got to 10 hours in this game.
I was 10 hours in.
I played 20 hours.
Okay. Well, you can keep up in the hours, but don't discount the hours I played. Cause
I remember you bolted you told me you bolted after 4 hours.
It was rough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's that was the problem originally. Here now, I'll say this. It's still a grind to do everything. And there are certain things I don't understand why they don't simplify it after the first couple of hours. Like taking off in this game, right? Every time you
one of the most important things in the game.
Every time you take off in this game, you expend launch thrust fuel. So every couple of hours, you got to go and like mine yourself some hydrogen and make yourself a metal sheet, and just so you can launch yourself again on takeoff. And you're like, why? Why after the first time why can I not eventually get to an upgrade?
You can.
No, you can't. Like
I thought you could. That's what I'm trying to say.
No. Like all these things, no matter what, they will always cost resource. And that's the thing. Like when you're talking about quality of life stuff, you know, I understand it like starting out, right? But like after a while, you're like, I'm going down to this planet and I know I got to consistently farm carbon and ferrite so I can recharge my multi-tool. So I can actually.
That sound fun, John.
So I can
sound like a hoot.
So I can actually mine the thing I want to. But really on top of that, I have to do all that because, you know, this is how I'm going to eventually get my resources to get to other things I really want to do in here. Like, for instance, like exploring these bases and finding these weird, like really interesting, like far out there relics and things like that. Just you don't see all the time, right? That process is just, it is a grind. There's just no other way to get around. It is like repetitive. It is the same thing over and over again. But what I would say is that like they've done things at least as you progress in the game and you get past those first couple of hours that while the basic thing is never going to change, at least you have like things you can invest in to make it a little bit better for yourself. Like you can build bases now on planets and you can put a teleporter in there so that like if you want to, you can teleport back to that base.
John will be happy about that and make fast travel easier.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, there really wasn't much like fast travel in the original game outside of summoning a ship.
And that was the thing you would think. I mean, you're in space, right? You're an explorer of planets. Why can't I put a beacon down that I can like get here faster? There was so much stuff that could have been, man.
Have you ever wondered what it's like to watch paint rot? Well, now you don't have to.
Play No Man's
Sky.
They've also seemed to do a better job now of like refining the worlds to be like where one, you can find the really weird worlds a little bit more on occurrence. Like
a little more better.
Well, like before, like it was like a 1 in a million shot, and now it's like, okay, if you visit like 30 worlds or something like that, well, at least one of them is probably gonna be like just, what the hell am I on right now? That kind of thing.
The concept of that, John,
weird geometry and everything.
Well, speaking of the concept,
yeah,
and it's not that you guys haven't given good answers. I don't know that I've really answered the question.
Yeah.
What did people want versus what you got? Is it if you think about it honestly, is it something where you wanted something, or is it where you thought you wanted something, but when you got it?
No.
So what did you want?
I don't know how to really say it better than I am, but when I would see the trailer and I started watching gameplay, there was something that tapped into me about the adventure. Yeah. The adventure and exploration, impossible. I wasn't sure on story.
Exploration you have.
But
adventure, what did you want? Did you want aliens around every turn, hostile situations?
Yeah, I wanted to.
Did you want Han Solo in space? Is that what you wanted?
The best way
Possibly. I could say that may be closer to what I thought I was getting than. That's a good way to put it.
I thought it was going to be something closer to Sea of Thieves. That's the best, like Sea of Thieves in space. I was like,
but you didn't know Sea of Thieves then.
No, but like now that I'm saying like something like that, I was like, it would be cool if, you know, this is like, hey, I'm going out here and I'm doing my own thing with my ship, right? But I can get that when I actually do return to port or whatever on these space stations, I feel like I'm in a galaxy. And like what originally was happening was you were pulling up and landing your ship, and there would be like one or two of the same alien, like one or two versions of 3 alien races in there, and that was it. And it was like every space station. Sometimes the space station was a triangle, sometimes it was a big globe, but it was always the same damn thing every single time. And you would see these ships land and no one gets out. They just stand there, and like, you know, you can go up and you can buy things from them, or you could buy the ship if you wanted to. After a minute or two, they just take off. You don't ever actually see anyone. So you're just like, after a little bit of time, you're like, despite the fact you're walking on Earth and every now or planet, right? and you would see things flying, like ships flying over you, you rarely ever felt like there was a living world behind that. You're just like, well, that's just a mirage. That's a thing that doesn't apply to me. That's code. And that was what was disappointing. That, and yeah, like the fact that I'm cool with the exploration and all that, but especially like when you're making a $60 game, if you're going to make it a single player experience, really, you need to have a narrative. You need to have a real reason why you're going out there to do it. And I think you have to make the core loop of the gameplay something that's exciting and fun that makes it worth it, to get those narrative beats. And the narrative was lackluster. I mean, it was pretty bad. And the loop was painful. That's just the best way to say it. Like
narrative and loop.
Yeah. Like that is every core game. Like even something like I have a problem with Far Cry because the narrative, right? I didn't really like the narrative. I'll say this. The core loop in that game is what saves it, in my opinion, from being a bad game, because it was fun to go out and just explore that county and to like say, there's a bear. I'm going to shoot it now because I can sell that pelt.
See, this is why.
Well,
I mean, like
I shot all those bears.
A game I love, like Mario Kart 8.
Yes, the core loop.
It's a loop, but there's no narrative.
No, but that's why, because that game's not driven. That game's driven on multiplayer experience.
Well, and I know you said that, you know, games really need a good narrative.
Yeah, I'm not talking about like a sports style or anything like that.
I'm like, bruh.
Not everything.
Quit being extra on me right now, bruh.
It's kind of like, you know, for instance, God of War.
John Extra is.
God of War has a great narrative, right? Mm-hmm. But it also has a great core loop. Like you consistently enjoy doing that combat and the things you can do with it. It never gets old. And whenever it feels like it might be getting old, they're like, here's something new to keep you going. That's why people like that game so much. How many times can I mine the exact same thing that's just got a different shade? Oh, look, that's pyrite. Oh, now it's copper. Oh, and there's gold. Exact same thing, you know, versus now where I'll give them credit, at least like I said, you can build a base, even though maybe the only people who are going to see it are people who are coming into the game. That's very Minecraft. You know, that's what people did for years in Minecraft. Go and mine things for hours on end so that they could craft these elaborate things and share online. I'm cool with that. That's a good add to this game. Likewise, the ability now to build things like these little devices that kind of refine material and do different things. It actually feels like you're doing something with them as opposed to just like clicking a button and watching it change. I'm like, okay, at least this feels real. Like it's asking me to do things to make things happen with materials, or building. Eventually, like you can build like different vehicles that you can drive on the surface, and they have, you know, you can put weapons on them or mining gear and things like that. It makes it easier to traverse and go to further locations so that like I can go around and be like, okay, I'm going to mark that so I can drive here, as opposed to being in the original game where it's like every planet is eating your resources of life survival. And outside of what's right around where you land, you just don't want to go further because you might die or expend all your resources trying to stay alive.
It just doesn't sound fun.
I think it is fun to certain people. I mean, like you just have to like that kind of game.
What kind of people?
Those people. No. You know, those people that like grind, you know, who like collecting and building.
With no payoff. Those people don't generally exist.
Well, there's a lot more.
Is there?
I don't want to say, like, for instance, there's a mission board now, and that will give you things to go out there. And if you're, like, into the whole entire trading thing, maybe you're, like, one of those people who likes, what is that game with the starships? That it's on Xbox and PC. I don't know if it ever came to PS4. Elite, Elite something. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Elite Dangerous. Where, like, you're kind of, like, the idea is you go around and you're moving shipments of things, and every now and then you run into problems as you do it.
That sounds terrible too.
People love that game. But like if you want that kind of game, like where you're doing the trade,
don't go into pitching games to people.
But things like this, like where you can go and do that kind of game where if you wanted to do the trade freighter route, it's actually built out now, like where you can start out small and you can earn favor with these different guilds and through them get better missions and eventually get to a point where like you're unlocking things like
No Man's Sky. We're talking about No Man's Sky.
Yeah, this is No Man's Sky. Like you can unlock things like a freighter that goes out there and you can store all your goods on it instead of having to worry about holding it yourself. You can send it out. You can get like a fleet of these freighters and send them out on missions and things like that. So it gives you, more options. Probably the other big thing that has impressed me the most with this game would probably just be that they've added third person perception or view when you're on the planet, which was not the case in the original game. It was all first person except for when you were space, you could make it third person with your ship, which is my preferred method. But I have to say that is one of the best changes in the game because it gives you depth to your surroundings. Like you actually feel like that's me, in that spacesuit there, which is cool.
Is it just one basic avatar or can you change it up?
You can do some customization.
That's new.
Now. Yeah, all that's new. You can
I'm in.
There's a couple of alien.
be something I would do there.
There's a couple of alien races you could make yourself. They all have different headsets and like it's all free and unlocked right away from what I've gathered. You can do custom colors and all that kind of stuff. So there is like stuff like this where it's just good.
Chris,
it's not necessarily like the most deepest like game changing thing ever, but it's good quality of life stuff for people who have been playing this for some time.
I apologize that I can't think of the title of this game right now, but it's been out for a while.
No Man's Sky.
Bioware. No. But it has to do with the water. They're like going in the ocean for things. I've watched a lot of Twitch streamers playing it, right? And it to me, it's
Abzu?
the water.
Yeah, Abzu.
No. I don't know it now, and I'll try to get back. I'll do some research. But so that game started out.
Song of the Deep?
No, it's like a PC game, John. That
all up in the paint.
We're not doing this now. Let me just get my point across. Okay. But no, that game starts out and basically you've crashed on this in this ocean. And you're having to go get parts to kind of
BioShock.
No, I hate you guys. And that game, and watching it, felt like it was what I kind of wanted No Man's Sky to be.
Okay,
so I'll get that title and we'll go from there. But a lot of people are if you were paying attention to the internet and this No Man's Sky next thing came out, you've heard semi good things about it.
Yes,
that it's made the game better than it was, but it's almost like. What's something that's terrible that you add a little seasoning to and kind of make it better?
Like, if it is
Vampire.
your niche, if this is your niche, if you
like
really
Vampire.
love space,
Yeah, I love
or you
Vampire.
really love things like that are about getting elements or collecting things, right? To eventually build up to a point where you can do something great with it or bigger than what it was at the beginning.
Go to college, get a job, and find a career.
College is overrated.
Then this is
You're right.
this is definitely your game.
I am proof of that.
I'm trying to think right now if I'm missing.
Did you bring up that you did see a ship? You were talking to me and you were like, "Oh, I think I just saw another ship."
Oh, well, I think
to
that
me
was when
that-
I was on the planet.
Oh.
That was that classic thing. I forgot about it. I was like, oh, yeah, those things.
I thought you were alluding to maybe you actually did see somebody.
I did not. Well, multiplayer, you have to join people's games. You don't just like, it's not like Sea of Thieves, right? You're not just automatically in a game with 4 random people or whatever. If you choose to be, it's like, no. You can be asked to be connected to someone's random game. Or you can, of course, invite your friends. I didn't do any of it. I've heard it works fine. I could see where that could be some fun. But after, that's really just on how much do you want to play this thing and what do you enjoy, right? I enjoy it. I think it's okay.
What I've gathered from you is
I could sit here for a couple of hours and lay on my couch like I was doing, and just collect things. There is one mode that I have wanted to try that I did not, which seems like probably I think might be the mode that I get the most out of, which is now there's kind of like a survival one, which is like literally you have one life and that's it, which that makes it interesting. Like going throughout the galaxy knowing that, hey, when I run into those enemies, if they kill me, what I've been working on for 10 hours is gone. Is done.
So my question to you is, had this game been in this form at the time, how many Richards would you have given it?
Probably 7.
All this work bumps it up to half a point.
Yeah, I can't remember if I did 6 to 6.5.
I think it was a 6.5 if I remember right. I
can't
don't
remember.
remember. I probably gave it like a 2.
Casey would be like 1.
I was just like,
Casey's a hard grader.
but I mean, a 7 it's meh.
I mean, 7 look, I think it's a good game, but I think it's something that you really shouldn't even consider picking up unless this fits all your niche. And like when I think of space games, right, and even exploration games, I can think of better ones. Like everyone's talking about, I haven't played it yet, but everyone's talking about Astroneer, and everyone loves that game. And then my big one would be Kerbal Space Program, where I spent probably 60, 70 hours playing that game, exploring planets far away from planet Kerbal and doing all that and building all these ships myself. Like that was a huge time sink to go in there and to go out there and figure out how to pilot these things correctly, land on planets, get the resources you needed, bring them back to Earth and build up.
I found it.
What?
Subnautica.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
That game's dope.
Have you played it?
I have not.
You shouldn't call it dope.
I've watched a lot of it. Subnautica, John.
So,
never heard of it.
One day when you get a PC, check it out.
I guess my suggestion is if you liked it in the original, but you're like, there's just not a lot here, and you have it still, then maybe it's time to go check it out. Or if you've got friends who are playing it and you think you would like it, if you could play around, go check it out. See what it's about. See if it's worth it, etc.
See, this game is not on anyone's radar, it seems, even though... I'm not talking about this one. Give me a chance to bring in the context.
My apologies, sir.
Although every time people see it, people get excited, at least I do.
It looks great.
Still, I'm not talking about that game.
Yeah. Oh.
Allow me to get to the point. It takes a while.
He's a Richard.
He really is. He's like a level 10 Richard.
Let's just let him.
I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything.
No. Keep going, Richard.
I would like to. Wouldn't that be nice?
Piffy.
Wouldn't it be nice?
So,
Good song.
the game Starlink coming out.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if these developers have been paying attention to No Man's Sky, because it seems like what they're doing is they're scaling back No Man's Sky and putting their own type of version on it. Everything in the game is seamless. You don't just click a button and the game switches to a planet. Huh?
Have I seen Starlink?
Starlink's the one that Star Fox is
Star
going to be in.
Fox is coming to the Switch.
That one looks fun.
Yeah.
And it's like
among all our consoles.
It's a seamless world where you fly down to a planet and there's no division of screens. It's all seamless stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm wondering if this game scaled back is going to maybe fulfill that itch, because they say there's exploration, live worlds and all that stuff, but it's just not intimidating the way.
I think it'll be.
There's no grind to it.
Yeah, I don't think it will be like that full
I'm not
RPG.
I'm not saying like it, but it's almost
think
like what people really wanted was something like that.
Possible, very possible. I could see it.
If I got a game where I'm going from planet to planet, I want to be able to fly my ship. I want to be able to get out my ship. I want stuff to happen on the planets. And we'll see. The Starlink game that you brought up looks really, really cool. There's also another spacey kind of game that I'm looking forward to, and it's called Star Child. But I'm going to play that on VR. It's going to be great.
I'm going to play it on. Really, what I'm waiting for now is the Bethesda one that they teased up for 5 seconds.
And I don't think you get out of your ship. I think it's all
because what is it like? You go down to the planet and your ship can like turn into a tank or whatever, right?
Yeah. This looks
I'll say this.
Dope.
Just does. The one thing that made me go, maybe I will get this game, was that it doesn't require you to get the toys to life thing.
Yeah,
that was my worry originally.
I think you can grind to get that stuff.
Yeah.
It may be in game, but I mean, I'm going to get the starter pack, so I'm going to get at least some gear for the Star Fox version. You getting it on Switch?
No, I'd probably just get it on PS4.
You gotta get it on Switch.
Why?
You have one.
I don't care about Fox.
Oh my goodness.
My God.
Do a barrel.
Let's just go to news.
You know, when I play, if I'm going to play an online game, I want it to be on a premium online service.
You can't make judgments about their service yet.
Yes, I can, because I've experienced it.
Let's just go to news.
It does look cool, though. I'll say it's like it's a little bit different because you don't have the like ground exploration as you were saying.
But you have ground exploration.
Yeah. Well, no. Like you're not like a person
right.
walking around and that kind of stuff. I think people were just like interested by the potential freedom that the game would give you. It's just that, yeah, it gives you a lot of freedom, but it really doesn't give you anything to do with that freedom in No Man's Sky. That was its biggest problem for the longest.
That was a good ad.
But anyways, yeah, we can pivot on to some news here.
So your revisit, it's gotten a little better, up to maybe a 7-ish.
Yeah, 7.5 at best.
If you've got it, try it out. There's an update. Just try it, if you already got it.
I will say this. There have been people that said they play this game for like 30 minutes or whatever, an hour the first time, a couple of hours at most, and then put it down and never touched it again, and who have come back and they have been raving about it. They're just like, I love it. I haven't been able to do that personally, and I think it's because I was so scarred from the first one, or from the first time it was released, where I'm like, I'm going to collect all this stuff and it's going to matter. Totally didn't matter. But yeah, let's go to the news.
Hot off the press and straight to your ears. Weekly Games Chat presents the news.
News. You didn't say news, John. All right.
I felt it.
Did you?
Feel the news?
Felt it.
First up, Xbox games with
You know
gold.
how news is. It just keeps repeating the same things over and over again.
Pretty much, especially with this stuff month to month.
Well, yeah, the same guy writes it.
Yeah, he's terrible. Xbox games with gold for August. Pretty good one here. First, you got Forza Horizon 2 for the whole month. You also can get For Honor Starter Pack. I think you get a couple of things unlocked and all that.
Doing it.
I hate starter packs.
Yeah, you can get that in the back half of the month. As far as Xbox 360 compatible games, you'll get Dead Space 3 the first half of the month, and then Disney Epic Mickey 2 the back half.
I like that game.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty good lineup. Dead Space 3.
I like a good back half.
I bought Epic Mickey, the first one, and it came. You remember how the Wii had the nunchuck?
Yeah.
And my nunchuck was a paintbrush.
Was the nunchuck the paintbrush or the wand the paintbrush? The wand.
I think the nunchuck was the paintbrush. I could be completely wrong, but it feels like that's right.
You're probably right.
Do I still have the game?
You did not buy Epic Mickey.
I did.
I remember he bought it.
I never played it.
It's really good. You like it.
That's what I hear.
You should play it.
Chris was hype on it for a while before it came out.
Yeah.
He wanted to play it.
But then he didn't have a Wii U, so.
It's Warren Spector.
Well, it was actually Wii,
Who's
right?
that? Who's Warren Spector?
Yeah.
Sorry, I kind of name dropped.
It's okay. I want to know who Warren Spector is.
He's known for the Thief. Was it Thief?
Thief,
Thief.
Deus Ex.
Deus Ex. That's the one. That's the one. Deus Ex.
Spider-Man's web is complete.
Yeah.
See what I did there?
Yeah. Marvel Spider-Man for PlayStation 4 has officially gone gold, meaning development has been completed. The finished product will be sent to manufacturing in preparation of its September 7th release date. Yay! I'm waiting for that game. That might be the first one that makes me go, God of War, you are no longer the best.
I found out that a friend of mine purchased the collector's edition of this game and anticipation and excitement and all that stuff.
And
I'm going to sling my web all over the walls.
That's just dirty.
Yeah. That was...
Speaking of someone who...
I got a cartridge.
Yeah.
You know who's been spreading all their stuff over the walls? PlayStation 4.
Yeah.
Because they've passed 80 million. Sony received financials for the PlayStation division, indicating that the current console has now shipped 83 million consoles worldwide, which means PlayStation 4 has done in less than 5 years what it took the PS3 to do in 7. Sony hasn't actually revealed the sell-through numbers since the end of 2017, while indicating 70 million sold. Or which indicated 70 million sold at the time. If you're one of the few that hasn't bought one, there is a Spider-Man bundle on the way. Looks really pretty, too.
Aforementioned.
That is a good-looking bundle.
Yeah.
That's a pretty machine.
Yes.
Is it a Pro or a regular?
I think it's a Pro.
I think
pretty
it's a
much. I
regular.
think now they're like,
It's
if
a
you're,
regular.
It's a regular.
is it?
Yep.
Well,
Regular.
let's see. There's this thing.
They should just call it PlayStation Regular.
Yeah. Do Spider-Man bundle PlayStation 4.
Spider-Man
Bundle.
PS4.
Bundle. You got to type in the word bundle.
Let's see.
It's a Pro.
Pro. Yeah, that's what I thought. I think pretty much now, whenever they do these, they always put them as pros because, you know, if you're them, it's like,
I get it, but
we're trying to make the money.
I think that it's starting to be kind of new, Chris.
Wasn't the God of War one earlier this year, pro? Because that's what Mike. That's why Mike got his.
Nope, wasn't.
Yeah, it was. I know I'm right. Y'all are dumb.
I'm trolling you.
You're dumb,
and you're falling for it like
you're
you do.
Dumb. You know, Nikki Haley said not to do that.
I actually don't like that.
I do.
It's pretty to me. I love that controller.
I'd like to
too.
see the actual finish.
Someone posted a picture. Hold on. I saw it on like a Twitter or something.
It's got that spider on it, like Spider-Man, you know?
Yeah, it's. I don't know, dudes.
Dudes?
Yeah, dudes.
All right, Michelle Tanner. You got it, dudes.
I just, you know, I don't know, dudes.
You're going to get it.
Time.
I'm not getting the bundle.
Password.
I already have a pro. So.
I'm perfectly fine with my...
oh, no.
I saw someone post it. I just don't know where I saw it, but...
It's probably fine. You feel like you're rushed right now?
No.
This game is going to rock my universe.
I hope it's good.
It's just...
I really do.
Yeah. I really
It
do.
has all the makings to be good.
I mean, look at this. Look at this sexy thing.
That's not.
And, well, of course
The
not.
controller's good. I like that.
The controller's better than the console, as John would call it, a console.
God, I wish you weren't such a moron.
I wish you weren't so level 7 about this stupid bundle.
Ni no Kuni DLC. Bandai Namco has revealed DLC and a season pass details for Ni no Kuni 2, The Revenant Kingdom. The first part will be arriving in just a couple of weeks. On August 9th, the Adventure Pack DLC number 1 will be available for free to all Ni no Kuni 2 players and adds additional floors to the Faraway Forest Cave, 2 new bosses, Blackheart and Zeta, and new quests that will be unlocked after completing the game's story. The second DLC will be released in the winter for all season pass holders, which currently is priced at $20. DLC number 2 will feature a brand new dungeon, which will see the party facing increasingly stronger enemies while trying to reach its deepest levels. Yeah. The third DLC will also be part of the season pass and will feature all new story DLC. This sounds like very similar to Zelda's DLC.
Yeah, it does. I get it.
It's like, here's some free stuff.
Are you going to go back and play it?
I don't think so.
Nope. That would be a no.
I don't think I have time to.
Gentlemen.
Honestly.
What was your Richard on this game?
I think you give it like an 8 or an 8.5.
Yeah, so
It's
it's interesting that you wouldn't go back, but
I just, by the time this stuff is coming out, I'm going to have like 400 open world games to
nothing
play.
on August 9th, dude.
Yeah. But then on August 10th, I got to start playing We Happy Fuel.
You don't have to.
Fuel.
Yeah.
And on August 7th is Overwatch or Overcooked 2. Yep, Overwatch
As well as We Happy Few.
that's
as well
that's
as
the 10th.
You're right.
Yeah.
He just said it, like literally.
Yes.
Your face.
The final God of War
What?
Easter egg has been found. I'm not reading all this because I'm not
There
spoiling
are
this for
spoilers, so
people.
let's pick through it.
But let's just say that, okay, so it had been hinted by the developers that you could find something that was a key indicator at the very beginning of the game towards some of the big secrets about it. And it looks like after much hunting, they have found these things. Is hinted that's around Kratos' little house. And the developers have confirmed that this was, in fact, the correct thing. So for those who have beaten the game, you can go read about it online. If not, I'm not going to spoil it.
Chris, let me explain something to you.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to give you this one pass.
Yeah.
But if I put something on paper,
Uh-huh.
you better read it.
No.
Okay?
No. You don't tell me what
Hey,
to
John,
do.
why are you being so low-key about the whole thing?
Okay, Pumpkin?
Guacamelee 2 has a release date. Drinkbox Studios' Guacamelee 2 is coming to PSC or PS4 and PC. I like combined those, didn't I? August 21st. The title will retain the formula of the original and moves its Metroidvania gameplay forward with the addition of drop-in 4-player local co-op as well as a new upgrade system, an improved graphics engine, and new rendering engine. The sequel comes 5 years after the original released on everything. It will have a price of $19.99. I think if you buy it before August 15th, you can, in your PlayStation Plus, I saw like you could get it for $15. So
Nice.
incentive.
Are you getting Guacamelee?
I will probably pick this up. I enjoyed the first one a good bit.
Say, you like the first one, like, you know, and stuff.
When I came back to PS3, that was the first thing I picked up was Guacamelee.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, because you're a luchador.
You know what I bought
and you're
first
like,
on PS3?
When I came back to it.
Oh, I was like, that was what you went with, dude?
No, the first thing I played when I got my PS3 was
Metal Gear,
the first
right?
time was Uncharted and then Uncharted 2.
Was it Metal Gear that came out after Uncharted?
I can't remember. I don't even remember when I played Metal Gear 4.
If my friend Cameron Bishop was here, he'd help me. Fun fact.
He can't help you now.
I know.
No one
He's
can.
not here.
Vampire updates coming in the summer.
Uh-oh.
That's like pretty soon. Yeah.
Because we're kind of in the summer.
Kind of running out of time here. Vampire is
kind of
receiving...
like how that Pokemon Pop is...
It's supposed to be out in the summer.
It's gone. You know that,
no
right?
more.
Why didn't you ever update a brother?
Well, they got them and they're
You don't
gone.
care about me.
brother.
You don't care about me.
You know what, John? I'm not even gonna. You know that I'm not even saying anything back to that.
It's a good thing I was kidding. You'd be mad.
No, I wouldn't.
But Vampire is receiving a summer update that will bring a story mode with that will de-emphasize combat. That sounds like a good idea. In addition, the game will receive a more challenging hard mode that will make the game's combat more central and challenging. That doesn't sound like a good idea. The update aims to add more replayability for those who have already played the game, as well as more options for newcomers. In addition, the game has sold approximately 500,000 copies in its first month of release, making the game already profitable, according to the studio. Good for them.
That is good. People in general I feel like there's a niche of people that like that dark story. They like vampire-y stuff.
Goth stuff. They're called Cure fans, which Ashley doesn't think is a band that could sell out Madison Square Garden. And I was like, what?
Well, good thing that person doesn't listen to this podcast anymore.
That's why I can say that.
Yeah.
I don't think she really ever.
John, are you going to go back? Are you excited? Or have you,
I'm going to go back at some point anyway, because
we got to go back.
I had a great time, and getting all the story
stuff
from the townspeople complete is just so fun to do.
You really like that.
There was a moment in the game when I told you about it, I'm like, I effed up. I completely effed up. So going back and doing it correctly, I'd love. I mean, they said if they sell 1 million of these, 1 million copies, that's how they'll consider it as a success. It's already making money. It's already turning a profit.
Yeah,
but,
they're not in the red anymore, John.
Yeah, haha.
They're in the black.
But I would kill for a sequel.
Oh,
yeah.
Was that a
I'm
pun?
sure they'll do something.
There's so much to build on. The story was actually excellent.
Yeah, it was excelente. Yeah. Indeed.
It'll take place during the something flu of World War II during the bombing of London. Yeah. Monster Hunter has monster sales. Monster Hunter World has now surpassed 8 million copies on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. According to Capcom, the milestone saw the company's net sales increase 46.5% year-over-year. Quote, in this business, the phenomenal success of Monster Hunter World from the previous fiscal year continued, with the title gaining further popularity through the expansion of its user base. In scoring a worldwide smash hit, the series solidified its position as an international brand and strengthened our base of IP, end quote. One can assume that sales will increase after the release on PC, for sure. I know there's a bunch of people that have basically salivated for it to be on PC.
I feel kind of bad. There's a friend of the show. Let me pull it up because I feel bad. And I think you should feel bad with me.
Why?
So friend of the show, Andrew, basically asked me where I played Monster Hunter on. This would have been around July 20th.
I don't feel bad. This sounds like you.
Here's what happened. I said, it was on PS4, good sir.
And he said, that's where I play.
Well, so obviously past tense, right? He then says, then we gotta play soon.
And you're like, why do you hate him?
I don't hate him.
Apparently you do. Won't play Monster Hunter.
Why do you hate my brother-in-law?
He's amazing. And he's going to get us into like Boston and stuff.
He was.
PAX East.
Long past. I should look to see when those are on sale.
PAX East was a few months back.
No, but
we could
is
go
it
next
no
year.
longer a thing?
I'm just kidding. I'm
He'll
sure
be there
I'm
April
sure he'd
next
be
year.
happy to.
Arms wide open, he'd be there, John.
Arms wide open.
All right, Ken, that's all you can do. No,
That
shut
band,
it.
that band is a mess.
Where
We can sing as long as we want to.
Yeah.
Can you take me
God, I hate that band. Nintendo Switch online pre-orders. While the new online service doesn't have a concrete release date, you can now buy a prepaid subscription. A 12-month subscription to Nintendo Switch Online is available for $19.99 on Amazon, while a 3-month subscription will cost you around $7.99. Reggie Fils-Aimé recently said that he sees the service as a successor to Virtual Console.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Well, best bang for your buck, obviously, is that $19.99.
I will not be buying that until I have a reason to buy it, is the way
then
I
you better
kinda do.
trade in your Switch.
Was what online game
it
is
doesn't
there?
matter.
You're eventually going to play Smash.
You're going to want to play probably cards.
Maybe that'll be
Every
then.
game
That's
will-
December.
Every game will be locked behind a paywall
Ooh.
for online.
Well, that's terrible.
Why? It's the way everybody else
No,
does it.
wait.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah. No. What I'm saying is
Right.
like, what is the online game and besides Till Smash, which is December, right? That is out right now that I need to go get this.
See,
for.
you're making that stance, and I have a problem with it because you'll gladly play the whatever you need to for Xbox or PlayStation, and
Sure.
even though at that time you're not playing an online game, eventually one will come up and you'll have the itch to play a Fortnite or to do this or do that, and you're okay with it.
But-
in the terms of Nintendo, you're like, I'm not going to pay for it until there's a game.
Couple of things.
Even if it's the third of the cost.
I've had enough.
Couple of things on that. There's two really big things I would say is that one, with Xbox and PlayStation, I very much trust the service that they're offering. And I know at some point over the year, I will get my money's worth out of it, whether it be through Madden, NBA 2K, Overwatch. There's a plethora of games that come out every year that I'm going to play. Heck, Fortnite, right? On the other hand, I'd also say I'm getting free games, and they're games usually of worth to me that I want. So that's the other reason why. I'm not saying this won't be good, but like what I'm saying is that right now there isn't much online that I feel like I'm itching to play with Nintendo. Maybe Smash will be that, but my point is I'm not giving them $19.99 early. I'll wait till I need it, or I see some kind of like final build what the first version of this paid thing is going to be like before I go drop money, because my few interactions with it have been very convoluted and have usually just been I join a game online with my friends and then I get in Skype or Discord or whatever and we just talk, because that's a hell of a lot easier.
Mario Kart, for example,
It's
amazing.
Yeah, and you know what? If Mario Kart was out right now, like it just come out and all my friends were playing it, maybe then I'd
Your
have a
interaction,
reason.
if you would have played Splatoon 2, amazing online.
I mean,
Games fire right up.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the fact of talking with friends, getting in the
We're all
parties,
going to have to.
Yeah.
We're all going to have to adjust to that.
Yeah.
But in general, their online has been good.
It's been stable, yeah. I will say that.
Look, if Nintendo was charging me $59.99 a year for a subscription service with no chat, I'd go, hails to the gnaw.
Hails to the no, son.
But the fact that you're not getting chat
For $19,
and you're complaining about $19,
I'm just
I don't understand it.
Look,
I feel
what's-
like it's a paywall that you're willing to pay anybody and the devil himself.
I'll say this.
Except for Nintendo,
if
because
I had-
PlayStation came out with their service. It was not a great online service. Everybody said it was
and it
not
was free.
Once they started charging, you started paying.
This is free.
No, once I went to PS4, and I'll give them credit, that generation leap that they did as far as
and what happened?
how it worked.
It wasn't immediately gangbusters when they started charging you for it.
Sure.
The money that they accumulated helped build the service.
I'll say that
So I think you're
being dumb, Chris.
giving Nintendo
if I was being honest,
you're giving them no pass
for any
you allot to anybody.
I'm saying you have to prove yourself. Yeah, I'm saying
PlayStation
compared to
didn't
what
prove
you're
themselves to you before you gave them money.
Well, yeah, you're right. They proved themselves to me in the back half of that last generation.
But you still gave
free.
them money in the front half.
No, wait, hold on. During PlayStation 3, I never once paid them. Not once did I ever pay them for online service. I never bought in PlayStation Plus until I got to PS4.
Because all we did is complain about how crappy PS3 service was online, and we praised the Xbox service. But it existed, but we did it.
Yeah.
And all I'm saying is Nintendo's online service has been free, and it's been there.
I'm saying what I've said before. Look, I will gladly buy into your service, one, when it gives me a reason to. I had a reason to, because one...
He's talking fast. I love it.
One, I bought it because... I got into that service because there was a ton of online games that all my friends were playing on PlayStation 4 that therefore I needed their online service, and now they were charging me for it. But here's the other kicker. Once I got on there, if it wasn't working, I would have complained. And if it had been bad, I would have said, screw this. I will endure not playing with my friends, and I'll go back to Xbox. That wasn't the case.
What do you think's not going to work about it?
I'm saying here is that for me personally, a lot of the life quality stuff that their competitors are doing, and of course it's all over PC, it's not there yet. And you have to show, like for instance, party chat. The fact that Sean is playing Zelda and I'm playing Mario Kart and we can't get into a party and just talk in 2018, like why do I need that? Is to say,
I will tell you
why am I paying for that service to do that?
But you're pretending like you're refusing to pay $59.99 for Nintendo's online service.
Mm.
You keep equating the three services like you deserve all the things that Xbox and PlayStation gives you for $19.99.
Right. If I'm being the most honest in the world, I would say I deserve not to pay any of them because that's the case as it is on PC. I don't pay for Discord when I'm on my PC. I don't play for Skype when I'm on my PC, right? I can do all those things. I can talk to people and I can play whatever games I want. And unless it's something like an MMO, I'm not paying for a service.
To your point, because I am,
yeah,
I'm not going to be a jerk and just say things. Even to your point on that, he's right because even WoW recently updated to where they have an in-game chat feature.
Yes.
That works amazing on PC. Sure, there are some games on console that have the in-game chat feature, but they're crappy, and I don't know why. He's right. That's not fair. To John's point, it does appear that you're expecting things out of Nintendo that Xbox and PlayStation give you for their price.
Sure.
Nintendo's not wanting you to pay that price because they want you to say, here, let's see what we got. Let's work. I feel like they want
But these are things,
grow.
I think this is the point I have a problem with is that it's like, well, because it's $20, you should make concessions. I'm like, fine. I'll say that you don't have to give me, a free like top level game every month like they do.
What do you
I'll give you that. But I'm saying like something
price?
Like, for instance, Party Chat,
which
has literally been around for a decade now. And like I said, I can get for free on my PC or, a trophy system or whatever. I'm like, I don't care what you're charging. I'm more so pointing out to you, capitalism. This is what the market is doing and this is where you're at. And if you're wanting me to just buy into your service and that's all you can offer, screw you. Like we said, Movie Pass is probably about to go under, right? I don't care for them. You know why? Because AMC, even though they're charging a higher premium, is offering a much better service than what they are. That's a nice picture. Hey, why do you have a picture of my Uncle Sam up?
So if they give
Sailor
you,
Sam.
if they give you free games, if they give you a quality online service, they don't give you party chat. That's not worth $19 a month.
To me, right now, unless there is a game I need to play with my, it's not even $19 a month, right? It's $19 a year.
Sorry,
yeah,
which is amazing.
Which isn't a terrible deal.
That's $2 a month.
I guess the way I would say is like for me personally, I'm not going to spend. I'm not going to spend that money.
It's not even $2 a month.
Not even.
It's like $1 and some change a month.
I'm not going to do that. No,
a month
because and you'll appreciate this, John. I believe in voting with your wallet. And if you are going to offer your service, you have to prove to me that it's worth it. And right now, the fact that, for instance...
Well, Chris, I guess we'll settle it in Smash.
I mean...
See you then.
Yeah, I guess. First thing they could do, Give me a Pro controller that has a freaking microphone port.
You've heard me talk about that. You're 100% right.
Everything that we hate about them, our two biggest gripes are that and the voice chat ability. I mean, everything else is doing pretty good.
Yeah,
don't try to act, dude. I will come across.
Well, there's that. I'll say this: the other big thing they're going on right now that is different from their competitors. It doesn't seem like they have dedicated servers. It's a lot of, you just have a host and all that, and that's fine to some extent. But you seem to see everyone else is moving to that different thing, and in a competitive world, like for instance, Smash, I don't want to play against people if they have an advantage over me because they're the host versus myself, because they get, they don't have lag.
Yeah. I don't think I'll have any lag, so you can come over anytime.
Oh my god, he goes from
that's fine. Vehicle kit announced for Labo. The Nintendo Labo vehicle kit is launching on September 14th and will allow Switch users to create a variety of new cardboard peripherals. The new kit will allow you to build a submarine, a plane, a pedal, 2 keys, and more. And more. Just insert one of your keys into the assembled vehicle. Yeah. And you can play a variety of games and activities. You can switch between vehicles at any time by pulling a key out and putting it into another slot. Yeah.
Sean, your face. You lit up like a kid.
Let's see.
I think you want this a little bit.
That's a great price too.
I think it is.
Oh, the product will be available for $69.99.
Yeah.
Nintendo Switch
That's
sells.
what you meant.
Yeah.
Nintendo Switch sells just under 20 million. Nintendo has reached almost 20 million sold on Switch. The company has revealed Q1 results with 19.67 million units sold, while software sales on the platform have reached 83.93 million units. Super Mario Odyssey led the pack with 11.17 million units sold, with Mario Kart 8 in second with 10.35 million, and then finally Breath of the Wild with 9.32.
That is amazing.
Yeah. They're rocking it.
That's got to be the biggest selling Zelda game ever made.
Those are good numbers.
It's got to be.
Ocarina, right?
It's possible. That's the one.
Or actually probably like A Link to the Past, maybe?
That one too. Those are the two that could have been.
Super Zelda 4.
Well, if you consider the last Zelda game sold 2.92 million.
Yeah. Or actually, you know what?
After 100 million consoles sold.
Skyward Sword.
No, it's not going to be that. I guarantee you I know what it's going to be. It's going to be Twilight Princess because of the Wii. It's got to be.
They're going to the Wii and then the Wii U.
That might be.
Let's see what the VG chart says, which of course is not an official
thing. What does VG stand for, guys? Video games or something?
Zelda. Let's see. They say that sold.
Can we get
why is it not just showing me
charts?
Yeah, that would be too freaking obvious, right? Let's see. So Twilight Princess. Why is it only that cannot be right? Oh, because that's the one. No? Really? Only 7.8? That doesn't sound right.
7.18.
That just doesn't sound right.
Well, these aren't obviously updated because it's only showing Breath of the Wild at 7 point something.
Yeah. I mean, or just like something isn't right.
You need to update your charts, VG charts.
I don't know what's going on with this site.
Tighten
these
up.
days. I don't know.
Well, let's hold on. Go down. Let me check the number.
Yeah.
Oh, 3.96. I guess that's
just don't sound right at all. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe
a Zelda game's never broken 10 million.
Really?
Never has.
Super Zelda 4
I'm
has.
telling you, Zelda, while it's a big seller, it's not a system seller the way Mario is.
That is probably. I agree with you. It's never going to be on that level. Let's see what game sales wiki says. 9 million for the original Legend of Zelda. Oh, 12.7. So,
but you have to also
13.22.
You have to also see. Look, go back.
9.22. So
go back up. You said The Link to the Past.
Yeah,
but look at the Super NES.
Sure,
4.61. So they've re-released the game.
Yeah, I mean,
and technically those count, but
they do.
At the time of the release, it hits 4.9 million.
Yeah,
that's not a lot of sales.
So it looks like,
but for the time it is. But
so it looks like the highest so far is
Breath of the Wild, dude. Because when you go back and add it, like John said, if you even look at Link to the Past, it says SNES at 4.61, then the re-releases get it all the way up to 12.71.
See, an Ocarina of Time, that's got to count for 3DS sales as well.
Yeah, because look, the
Sure.
N64
Yeah, I mean,
is
it's on there.
7.6, and then the 3DS is 5.62.
That's fine with me. I guess I just view as, I look
Whatever
at what
it
you're
is.
told. Yeah, I don't really care about the breakdown. I mean, like, it would be like today, if I bought Super Mario Bros., right, and I'm playing that, I still paid you for Super Mario Bros., right?
I know, but I'm talking about the results of what their marketing does.
True.
That the fresh sales. I like a good fresh sale.
Ooh. Fortnite frustrations. An even more powerful SMG is the latest frustrating addition to Fortnite that has fans worried about the consistently weakening building meta. The recent 5.1 patch add this weapon that can rip through the walls and precisely nail your targets. It also increased the rate at which the weapon can vaporize walls and floors. The patch has also weakened the overall strength of building segments, making them easier to take down. Fans are definitely making themselves heard. To potentially add to this frustration, the game might soon be getting a sniper rifle that can shoot through walls. According to the description, quote, powerful and accurate rifle with a bolt action mechanism with an extremely slow reload. Shots pierce through the first wall it hits. I like that.
This might be okay.
Yeah.
And look, I used to have a hard time writing about Fortnite because it was hard to imagine it and picture it, but I watch it every frickin' day. So I know exactly, well, almost exactly. I mean, if the slow reload time, that's got to be a nerfing part of the weapon.
Yeah, it's like not.
You get one shot at this, and then you want to
like a
reload it,
3-second
fine, but
reload.
I'm going to kill you.
Well, it's
Yeah,
their way to balance the
Yeah.
power of the gun. You're going to have to be very accurate, or you're going to pay for it.
Yeah.
I hope you can hit a freaking side of a building.
Well, it's like
Dude, they've
the
done this
scope
before.
should be able to tell you that you can see through the wall. I think.
They've done this before where they add these guns that are like completely OP, and it's not fun, or they add things that it don't work right. But what they're really good at is listening to that feedback and fixing it immediately.
If they think it's something that needs to be fixed, they will fine tune it. Otherwise, it might be a balancing issue because I will say the last time I played, it was like, it wasn't so much who was the best shooter that was winning. I noticed it was like really the ones who could build and maneuver it, which is fine, but there needs to be like a counterbalance to that, right? And having that rare weapon that comes out there that will give you something that can take down walls a lot more efficiently than, other guns is a nice addition to your roster, right? It's a nice find for you because it gives you options when you get to the end game. But finally this week, EA didn't push Bioware into Anthem.
Sean looked horrified.
James Olm, former Bioware senior creative director, squashed rumors claiming that EA made Bioware develop Anthem as a service-based multiplayer adventure shooter. Quote, I think one of the things about Bioware has been really good at, which has allowed it to survive for more than 2 decades, is taking risk and trying new and different things. He later called Anthem a chance to do something a little different. Anthem's direction was given by Bioware itself and always had a lot of control over the kind of games it makes. He later goes on to speculate that EA is looking to Anthem to be a long-term part of the company's strategy going forward.
Yeah, I think the most important part of that statement is that he's saying it's not going anywhere.
Yeah,
Like we're going to invest in this, so hopefully the people who play this game will invest in it.
So, Chris, to you and Sean, if you have any insight, of course. As someone who has lived and breathed BioWare,
sure.
What are people so concerned about?
I don't know.
What's got them so uptight?
I do have one thing. I think their biggest concern is with them, they're so well known about their narratives, and it's just really hard to do that in that kind of game, as was demonstrated in Destiny. It's like, like Destiny, you literally wake up and you're like told by a little Dinklebot at the time. Now Nolan bot.
I had no problem with how that game started.
Well, I mean, like the thing is, like you start and you wake up and you're like, look, you're this person, this guardian who's been asleep for whatever many years, right? And you're different, and then you literally go to the whatever it's called, like the Citadel type place where which is like the hub, where you literally meet hundreds of other Guardians who literally also just woke up from a 500-year sleep. It's kind of like how it is in an MMO. And an MMO doesn't really make that mistake a lot with its storytelling. It doesn't try to act like you're some savior usually. It's more of like you are part of this great battle, and like Thrall is the guy that you look up to, right? That's who you're supporting and all that. You're just
For
part
the
of this.
horde.
Yes.
Well, let me ask you this. Should this game have come out instead of the new Mass Effect Andromeda?
No.
Well,
Because
they
I
were
look
two
at
different
this-
studios.
Well, I look at this game and I go, do the developers of this game look at what's going on with Battle Royale right now and go, oh, God,
No.
is this game sustainable? Is this going to be another Destiny? I mean, whether it's 100 times better than Destiny or not,
Yeah.
it's just do these games have long shelf life with Battle Royale in existence?
I think they do. I mean, I think people misconstrue things when they think about it.
I never do.
It's not Fortnite. And I'm like, well, Fortnite is like something that happens once, you know.
we had a friend.
Battle Royale was sucking the air out of the room. Everywhere.
Sure, to some extent,
for
but
shooters like that, but this is going to be a story driven, crazy experience that you're going to want to spend
like-
hours in.
I'm just wondering.
Or Fortnite, you just want to hop on with buddies and maybe drink a beer or not and shoot people and win the chicken dinners or the whatever you win at Fortnite, which is just, hey, you won. So I mean, it is what it is. I feel like,
here's the thing, like looking here, right? Destiny 2 is still right now on Twitch. Just right now has 21,000 people viewing it. Okay. Sure. Fortnite's in its own little world here, but here's a game that's been out for over a year. And is part of a series now that has been going on consistently since 2000, 2000, was it like 12 or 13, right? Or I guess it was
No.
2014.
no,
Yeah.
it hasn't been that long, has it?
But see, this
Remember,
is
we had
kind-
2 years
but
before.
this kind of, it's not proving my point because I'm
Yeah.
not making the claim. I'm asking the question. This is why I raised the question. You've got 250,000 viewers, and you've
On
got
Fortnite.
but you've got all these other types of games.
Is Ninja on?
You've got all these, yeah, true. You've got all these other types of games fighting over the scraps that fall from the table.
See, you view it as
no.
that. I don't view it that
Look.
way. It's like, to me, as long as they have a healthy community, as long as when you're logging on to Destiny, there are people playing and it doesn't take you forever to find matches and things like that, that's a healthy community. And at that point, you're doing fine. The thing I would say is, like, maybe whenever Destiny 3 comes out, sure, maybe the sales might not be as high as before, but if they're selling, 5 to 10 million units of that game at launch, who cares that the fact that it's not 15 million? To me, that's like the same kind of argument that goes on with World of Warcraft all the time. We're like, well, it's not what it used to be. I'm like, yeah,
Hey.
but it's still making plenty.
But just look at this snapshot, John. How many single player games are there single player only? Right here on this top. What Anthem has in its favor is that it is going to be a rich multiplayer experience.
Exactly.
And it's going to have story. It's got a chance. I think
That's what I'm hoping.
I think
I'm
the
hoping.
worry, I want to say that the worry happened after this E3 when they were showing more of the game.
See,
And they started talking more about it. People were like, wait.
I
that's
didn't
what it is?
understand. Like, yeah, that demo they showed at E3 was just not a good video.
Yeah.
Like, because afterwards,
right before that, the hype for this game was off the charts.
well, after they did this, right, like about 3 weeks later, they released like a full 30-minute demo of the game with not much content talking. It was just like context and things like that, and it was a great sell for the game. It actually like did a much better job of selling the world and showing you everything. And you're like, okay, I see where you're going with this. That's where I say, like, when I look at EA's press conference every year, I'm like, you're missing the point. Like, I get what you're trying to do. You're trying to speak to your your stockholders and like the certain niches of games that you make. But I'm like, this is what you should have done. A third of your presentation should have just been a 20-minute demo of this game because you need to sell that world.
Yeah.
As far as the actual comment here, I'll say this. I don't think BioWare was told at all what to do. But I think like the difference is like when you say, as far as EA, that like when they were told, hey, we're working on this thing, that they were like, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
I think that's the point. We've talked about this, like where for them right now, it's a lot harder to buy in the single player experience because of the way their company is set up and what they expect.
See, I'm not trying to bring it back full circle with a joke.
Yeah.
Now that I have this internet, I'm thinking about these types of games now.
Sure. Because you can actually play.
Yeah, it's like, I mean,
And they don't look like little stick figures.
exactly.
You can actually watch a TV show in 4K streaming on Netflix now.
Do I have to pay for that?
Yeah, it's not that much of an upgrade though. It's worth it because then you can
Done.
also watch on the unlimited screens, I think, at the same time or something like that. But anyways,
Gotta go.
you guys want to wrap this up?
Never!
Emails. If you want to write in your thoughts to Weekly Games Chat, you can do so by emailing us at weeklygameschat@gmail.com. That's weeklygameschat@gmail.com, just like Matt did for the second week in a row. He is really pushing on this because we teased it up. And I'm I'm
Just the tip, please.
I'm nipping this in the bud forever this week. Yeah, I am.
Okay, let's do it.
Hello again, gentlemen.
Hello, Matt.
I got a good laugh hearing the discussion after reading my email inquiry.
Inquiry.
I am fairly smart, not a genius, or I wouldn't be in insurance. Smiley face. I've been listening to every show for the past year or so do not recall any hints as to the company you guys work for. Being 40-something and in this crazy industry, I unfortunately don't have the time to listen to the 100 or shows I have missed, but I'll work on it. You better. I am an independent agent, not a captive agent, aka State Farm, Allstate, etc. So I represent multiple carriers. I'm going to venture a guess, Travelers. I know underwriters who...
Oh, that's Farmers, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I know underwriters with Travelers are out of Alpharetta, Georgia. Keep up the great work. The show is super entertaining, and I appreciate the banter and games inside. Thanks, Matt.
You're welcome, Matt. We love banter.
Hold on.
Just respond to him and tell him. Just tell
I'm
him.
not revealing who we work for because, one, I don't want to ever bring that in here, but two, I just
You can tell him
don't.
the town.
Well,
you can not, you can,
here's
you can
what
get
I
to
would
a
say.
point where you don't
That was my
confirm
point.
or deny where we are.
Here's
We're
the
about to
point.
confirm or deny.
I would say we will never confirm or deny the actual company where we work for, but I'll say if you listen to the podcast, if you learn about us, where we're from, and such, you could do your research and you could probably surmise who it is.
I think he's already bored at this
Work
point.
out. No,
That's
he'll
just
keep
you,
going.
John. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, yeah. Just check out like you always
Richard.
do, John.
You are such
Every
a
week.
just massively throbbing Richard
I think
right
we're
now.
a little overprotective about where we're working. It's okay, man. We're really okay.
I
you
am
know what?
Say it.
You know.
You don't want to say it, and I respect that, and I will maintain that respect.
Two
But
out,
we
two
can
out of three,
say it.
John. 2 out of 3.
You're right. That's right. That's what I
You're the
Speaking
loner
of
right
guys
now.
who work
Yeah, I'm
with
John.
us.
Never happened before.
Speaking of guys who works with us, Adam
Hey,
Jones, not Adam Jones of the Baltimore Orioles. He's still an Oriole, I think. I hope he is.
said no need to read this.
Oh, well, whatever.
But we are.
But I'm going to. He says, "Hey guys, no need to read this on the show. It's a newbie conversation.
No problem. We don't live on Front Street and 18th Avenue, so it's probably fine.
I had to look up a JRPG because I had no clue what the J stood for. It's a Japan role-playing game. That was the most popular research result on Google. Yes, Adam, that is what it stands for.
Reading it.
Because he wrote in, and I read them all. Even the ones where they tell me to hate you. I read them. Remember? I tried Skyrim on the Switch at Christmas last year. Couldn't get into it. The way you described Octopath Traveler reminded me of Skyrim. Is Skyrim a JRPG? No, it is not, Adam. It is not a JRPG. It's a Western RPG. Not turn-based like that, whereas Octopath is. I bought Skyrim because I thought it would be like Zelda Breath of the Wild, but not. But nope, not really. Later, guys.
Later, Adam.
It got a lot of comparisons to Skyrim.
It really
It definitely gets the opening.
I don't know why, but it does.
Oh, really? You don't see it?
Well, it's like you're not in Zelda. You're not leveling every little thing you do in the game consistently, right? Like that's how Skyrim is. Like,
what are you doing right now?
You're chopping the axe. So
we all know about Skyrim, dude.
Apparently Adam doesn't, because
Well,
he quit because it wasn't like Breath of the Wild, which is not a JRPG. Iron Puppy for the longest time has not run in, but he's back this week. And he says, "Good evening, Chris, John, and Sean."
Oh, good evening, sir.
He starts off with, "It's been a while." But most weeks, all I have to say is stuff like, "Another great episode," or "Keep up the good work." Didn't want to cross the line of compliments and verbal Richard stroking.
Just keep stroking.
You can always stroke us. Wait, what?
What?
Anyways,
No,
do you guys play any other games through the week other than the ones you cover on the episode?
Always. What?
Also, congratulations on Sean's promotion. It is a promotion, right?
It is,
It was.
yeah.
Yeah. I know he said it's just a different position in the same company. Just assuming it's a promotion of some sort.
Thank
Game
you,
on.
sir. It was a promotion.
He's ruining our company
It was amazing.
every day.
Yeah, now I'm like legit.
Every time I see things now in my position,
You're gonna be
I'm
like,
going to be
"That
like,
guy."
It's his fault. It's his fault. I think, I definitely play other things if I get a chance.
Yeah.
It just depends what the game is and how much it's required. Like, for instance, I'm not sure what we're talking about next week, but there's been some inkling to what it may be. I know if it is that thing, I can only play that for 10 hours, so I can assure you this. I will definitely play something else.
Yeah.
During
I mean,
that
and for the
period.
last 2 months, I've been playing WoW. I got refired
Yeah.
back in that because BFA's coming out, and John's constantly playing things
I'm playing right
like
now.
Netflix, and
I'm playing the expansion of Assassin's Creed Origins.
I need to play that.
I still need
Do you have
to-
the disc version of that? Or did you get the digital?
I don't.
Can we share game libraries?
I asked him first.
You did
Yeah, but
ask
you
me
don't
first.
actually.
It doesn't matter. I asked
don't-
him first, and he has to honor that.
So?
or I will chop him.
If
Why don't you go
Sean-
do it then?
If Sean
I think
still
you can share it
wants
with
it,
multiple people.
Yeah,
he'll get it.
I do. Yeah.
My buddy Adam has second dibs.
Oh, how many people can you share with? I can't remember.
Just one, I think.
Because I think Casey told us that from him. And
All I
Tony.
want is just so I can go back and play this
Right.
DLC.
You know what else I wanted? Something that good friend of the show, Mike D, wanted to give me, and you took it, and it's wasted now.
Yeah, well, you would have done so much with it.
You don't know. You're making judgments right now, and it's not fair. I'll tell you that
As
much.
are you.
But one of the things I was telling Chris the other day was, and don't take this the wrong way, and I said the one thing about this podcast, the one thing that I hate is the requirement of dropping what you're playing
Sure.
to play the next thing.
Yeah.
You don't really get a time. You don't really, as much as we used to savor things the way we used to. We don't get to do that much anymore.
A lot of it is because
that's not a. I mean, I love this show. I love everything about it.
It's a small slight. A part of it is because we try to play the newest thing and talk about it the
Yeah.
fastest.
Yeah.
A lot of times you're cramming 2 days of gameplay.
Well, and
into
we've
it.
gotten feedback from fans; they want to hear more about what happened later on. So, I mean,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Maybe
Yeah.
maybe we start if it just plays
We're-
out. We can try to do better.
We're
with
about
that,
to go into that time of year where it's like I both love it and I hate it. And it really, like, the bad part of it is outside of December. December's kind of the only little reprieve you get.
Yeah.
It lasts all the way to March now.
True.
Pretty much from September on, where it's like you pick something up. And for me personally, I at least have this gift because unlike these guys, I don't have children and I don't have a wife, where I can sit down and outside of Saturday when football's on, Sean, I can pretty much play nonstop. And that's what I have to do. Like my buddy Jeff always gives me a hard time. He's like, you rush through games. I'm like, you don't get it. It's like I play just as much as you do. I just have to condense it as much as possible because, you know, for instance, like Spider-Man's out on the 7th? It's like I have to play that consistently until whatever it's dropping on the 14th or the 21st, you know, and after that, I can't say for certain when I get to go back to it. It might not, and that's how it was last year with Assassin's Creed. I played the crap out of it when it came out, and then I had to put it away, and I came back to it about midway through December. And I beat it, and I maxed out, and I loved that game. But, like, that's just the price you pay.
I was playing it last night, still blown away how beautiful that game is.
That game is beautiful.
Very cool.
Sean, what we got on Twitter real quick?
I wanted to give a thanks to Mario and Lando That's a pretty cool name because his picture
Lando
is,
Calrissian.
his name is Mario. I mean, his picture is Mario and Lando. You had put out that our we already did.
You sure?
Yeah.
Yeah, click it again.
I said. Oh,
we got one more.
Oh, yeah, I didn't
Mario
read this one.
Lando,
My
still
bad.
thanks. He had replied about our JRPG
Good
coverage
call.
of Octopath Traveler, so thank you for liking that. And I'll pick back up in just a minute, peeps.
Yeah, good catch, John. I'm so sorry. Nintendo Gaming also wrote in and he says, "Hey guys, I'm back."
Yeah, and better than ever.
And then he says, "Isn't it inconceivable?" Last time I said that my only current gen console is the Xbox One, and since then, and thanks to your reviews, I resolved to save up with the eventual goal of purchasing another system. Only which one? I've heard the PlayStation 4 has the best exclusives, but I've also heard the same about the Switch. So, if you had to pick one, which one is better? Also, are the PlayStation 4 Pro and Xbox One X really that much better? It seems like the PlayStation is better to me since my go-to games are shooters, usually sci-fi based. I'd love to hear what you think and game on. P.S. I do not think that word means what you think it means. Wink, laughing. 2 quotes this week from The Princess Bride.
I love it. Yeah. For me, man, from
what you saying?
I don't know, dude.
I gotta say PlayStation.
You're obviously going to want to say PlayStation 4 because of the type of shooters and the games he plays, right, John? But I mean, the Switch has some pretty powerful exclusives as well, but if they're not up your alley.
I still haven't played a better game than Breath of the Wild.
Right.
That's because you never played Odyssey.
Or because maybe I haven't played The Witcher.
That too.
So
I'm just saying.
Which is on. I'll say, like,
I think mathematically,
yeah.
If you're crunching the numbers, you got to go with the PlayStation 4.
Yeah, it's just kind of hard to avoid it.
But if it's just if it's just so tempting and you want to play that Switch because of
it's so
2
different.
or 3 of the greatest games this generation, I could not fault you for it.
If he didn't have the Xbox One X, which he has,
no, he just has
just the Xbox One. It depends on. I mean, I don't know. That's so tough.
As far as upgrading your system, like a Pro or Xbox One X, it is not worth breaking your bank account for.
No.
But I will never forget, and I already said this a couple of minutes ago, I will never forget the difference because I was playing Origins on the regular Xbox, and then I went up to the Xbox One X. I could not believe the
remember
difference.
you came over, and when I was playing that on the X, you just sat there and you're like, pretty.
Yeah.
It is a special site. Look.
But they all get the job done.
One, he's right.
The bank for.
Unless you have the money and you have a 4K TV that has HDR.
Or 30 years of Nintendo games.
I think you can hold off on either the PlayStation 4 Pro or the Xbox One X. Unless you plan on buying, here I would say, look, if you're going to buy a PlayStation 4, you might as well buy the Pro just because it's a better, heftier console, right? You're going to get more bang for your buck. So that's what I would tell you there. As far as PlayStation versus Nintendo in this, it's personal preference. Like, basically, are you okay with a bunch of indies and then knowing you get Zelda, Mario, a Mario Kart, and Smash Bros.
Mario plus Rabbids.
And a couple of other things like, they're all Mario or Zelda or whatever, basically Nintendo property related. Well, and if you want that, if that's something that speaks to you.
And you still get Skyrims, Chris.
But I think he's probably already played those on his Xbox
He might have,
One.
but you're making assumptions, Umi.
But on the other hand, if you want, like, the big spectacle games or whatever, pushing things and going, or just like, a console that has now been around for 5 years. And say you want God of War, you want Uncharted, you never got to play Last of Us, and now you want to play Last of Us Part 2. You want to play Spider-Man here coming out. You want to play, things like Ni no Kuni. All that. Then, go get you a PlayStation 4. Just makes sense. John, let's go back to Twitter.
Oh, well, the reason I brought up the Mario and Landy was because, he gave us love for the Octopath thing that we did. Well, on Monday that would have been, yesterday?
Yes.
That was yesterday. I tweeted out, "Sup, peoples? How was your weekend and or your Monday?" I told them, of course, there'd be a new episode this Wednesday, and I said we were revisiting a place we've been before. and then I would talk to them then, and we would. And the reason I say that is because we got a reply from @theclawvoice, who says, "Hey guys, we are going to need your Octopath update. See where everyone's at."
I have honestly, because of this, not gotten to play all week.
I played some more yesterday, and I'm dumb because the game told me that I'm going too far without getting another traveler. That it would probably
you should probably go do that.
It would probably be my best interest to go get a traveler, and so I pulled up the map.
It said that to you?
Yeah, and I pulled up the map.
Like, what were you trying to do? Continue the story?
I was going to just rock some stuff out, dude.
I thought it was optional to pick up people, to be honest.
Nah, you need to go pick them up.
Well, I thought you could fast travel.
Yeah.
I thought you could, when I pulled the map, I could hover over these places, and it was giving me almost like I could fast travel. Mm-hmm. It turns out you cannot fast travel. You have to walk.
Yeah,
you've been
so.
there, you can't fast travel.
So I'm probably about another hour in, and I apparently need to go get another guy. But I will say this. Or lady, that's right. At Tyranno Tortoise, he's pretty smart. He said, I wonder if it could be No Man's Sky, maybe.
You're smart.
You are a smart person, sir. Yeah. We had a couple of new followers. I want to give some shout out. As you guys see on this podcast, we are approaching the 2 hours, so I'm going to leave it here. This is a pretty good name. @ThickLoogie.
That's solid.
Thank you for the follow. Following you back.
God, please follow that man.
Yeah, I like it. Appears there, the Thick Loogie is a Knicks fan. They got any good things going on with the Knicks, Chris, in the NBA?
Nope.
Turns out. And also to Sarobi. Thank you so much for the following you back. And of course, Chris is about to tell you if you do want to, interact with the show on Twitter, he's going to tell you how to do it. It's really easy. It's Twitter @Weekly Games Chat. Talk to you next week, guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been episode 164 of Weekly Games Chat. If you like the show, subscribe to us on YouTube, iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, number of services. And you'll get a new episode every Wednesday, just like this one. If you really like the show, and they got a rating system wherever you're going, take that rating, move it all the way to the max, and you'll help people find the show. If you hate us, though, take that rating, move it all the way to the max, and then move it down 1 point. And we will know loud and clear that you are not
Breaking
a fan
news.
of us.
Breaking news. Nintendo is having a Nintendo Direct on August 3rd.
Oh.
Just announced about an hour or two ago.
Well, there you go.
Breaking news to interrupt Chris's spiel.
I can't get up.
Ooh. Besides that, as Sean said before, if you want to find us on social medias, both places, Twitter and Facebook, it is @Weekly Games Chat. And of course, like I said earlier, if you want to write into us, tell us your thoughts and opinions, what you would like us to really focus on this month, because we got a lot of indie games coming. So go look at your Metacritics. You'll see a bunch of things.
Yeah,
what do you think we should focus on?
Tell us where you want it.
We'll give you preference over to what John wants. We'll tell John to be quiet and be like, well, user blah, blah, blah said we should cover this game.
Yeah.
And you'll be like, but we happy few. Besides that, though, until next time, I will simply say, game on, Sean.
Game on, Chris.
Game on, John.
Game on, Chris and Sean.
Game on, Johnny Bear.
Your mom's box.
Peace out, everybody.
Thug life.
He peaked.